I'm Chris, and this whole video was made with a $10 camera. About a year ago, I was in my local Goodwill when I saw this camera, the PowerShot S5 IS. Sounds fancy, right? Of course, I bought it. I was thinking I would just resell it, but after putting it onto my camera shelf, I forgot about it. Until now. I'm sure all of you have heard the famous words, gear doesn't matter. This phrase has been repeated by nearly every big name on YouTube, but what I've noticed, and what I'm sure you've noticed, are the $1,000 cameras those words are being recorded on. Now, I'm not trying to disregard those comments because I believe it to be true. Gear really doesn't matter, but it's harder to accept that mantra when the gear those big names are filming on costs more than your car. I wanted to really put that claim to the test, so here it is. No fancy microphones or lenses, no expensive software, no no studio lights, just some kid with a $10 camera and the exciting idea to prove the doubters wrong. Now, the big question I had to ask myself was, what am I going to film? Should I do a video exploring my hobby of woodshop? Should I go more in depth on illustration and design? Should I try and write a short film or maybe a video about the writing of a short film, and then the short film is actually about writing a short film? So then it would be a short film about the writing of a short film about the writing of a short film, right? Well, in short, that proved to be way too complicated, so I went with something a little more down to earth and, well, more relevant to the video I was making. So here are 3 tips on how to film with a cheap camera. A question that has been asked for millennia. First, in the eternal words of Casey Neistat, story is king. It doesn't matter what camera you have, as long as you have an interesting story. For example, the story of how you have a crappy camera and want to prove that you can make an interesting video with it. The quality of the video doesn't necessarily matter. That brings us to our next point. Audio comes first. If you have a crappy camera and no microphones, buy a mic before upgrading your camera. This video uses nothing but the onboard microphones to prove a point. But if I were to suddenly switch to using a real microphone, doesn't that instantly make the video a million times better to watch? Then again, if I were to suddenly switch into higher quality video but still with crappy audio, the overall change in quality isn't as dramatic. Okay, so I'm editing the video right now, and looking over the footage, it turns out that the onboard mics on this camera are actually really good. So there's not a huge difference between the mic quality of mine and my shotgun mic, but most point-and-shoot cameras have terrible mics, especially the smaller ones, so what I'm about to tell you still holds up. Just an FYI. But if you're stuck with onboard mics like I am, here are a few things that can help. Try to stay indoors so you don't have to worry about wind or the glorious sounds of nature screwing up your audio. Also, don't film in a big room. Without a dedicated directional mic, any echo or background noise is going to sound even worse. If you can, set up a simple sheet or blanket to dampen any noises you don't want getting through to your camera. And that takes us to our last point. Older mid-range point-and-shoots SLRs like this one have pretty terrible depth of field. You're almost never going to get anywhere near the bokeh that you will in today's cameras. So try and set up a clean, simple background so nothing behind you is distracting to your audience. Even a simple bed sheet clamped to 2 bookcases will do the trick. So there you go. Those are 3 tips on how to make a better video with cheaper equipment. I hope this video helped to prove a point that you don't need fancy cameras to make an interesting and even good videos. You just need an interesting idea and a story you're excited to tell. P.S. I'm guessing that most of you have a smartphone made in the last 5-ish years, and I can almost guarantee that the camera on that smartphone is about 100 times better than the camera I'm using today, which, by the way, is from 2007. So there are no excuses. Go create something. Go. Now. I'll wait. So there you go. That's all I've got. Thanks. Oh.